Hi, how are you, Raymondville ISD? I'm so excited to be here with you online virtually to share with you some important tips on back to school COVID safety. I am Dr. Edith Trevino. I go by Dr. ET, and I will be your online teacher for about a good 20-25 minutes. We're going to learn about COVID safety. What I've done is I'm going to share with you some of the slides that I have created for some of the smaller students, right? So if you hear them saying, give me five or high five or things like that, it all has to do with today's learning activity. I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page. However, of course, what I'm going to share with you is going to be for an older audience, of course, middle school, high school students, and high school teachers. I'm super excited to be here. Again, this is me jumping up and down. I am certified with the online fundamentals of COVID back in March. I actually took it around April of 2020 just to find out more about the SARS COVID-19 and how it affects us and how we can stay safe. And I will tell you that following these steps is pretty simple. It's all about self-awareness. I just want to make sure that everybody here feels safe and knows that there are ways that we can take precautions, in a classroom and with our students. And really, it's all about awareness. One question that I always ask and that I asked the students was, do you know how to protect yourself from COVID, right? Do I really have to wear the PPE, which is a protective wear, and from head to toe? And in reality, we do not, but there's certain things that we do have to do and that we do have to wear and that we do have to complete throughout our day in order to protect ourselves. Now, we are fortunate that we are not the ones having to do none of this. This is what's called forensic cleaning, disinfecting for different types of diseases and viruses. And as you can see, they are wearing their PPE, their mask to cover their face and their eyes. And then they're wearing gloves and the whole outfit as well. So this is called forensic cleaning, forensic restoration. And of course, we have learned as much as we can from the CDC. And here I am going to share that information with you in an easy and fun, fast way so that we remember it. I have turned it into 5 steps, and really in reality it's 4, but 5 is because I want people to share the knowledge and the information that they have. So number 1, we're going to talk about the importance of washing hands and how we can do that and making sure that we have enough time to wash our hands thoroughly. How to wear our masks properly, what does it mean to be 6 feet apart, social distancing, eyes, nose, and mouth. What does that even have to matter? My eyes, what do that have to play a role in COVID-19? And then the last one is sharing our knowledge with a friend, somebody that we know, because every day we learn something new. And even though I'm sharing this with you, when I first started taking the sessions, when COVID started, I didn't even know some of these facts, right? That I was like, what? I had no idea. But I'll share those with you as we continue. Number 1 is washing your hands, right? And that is very important. And you hear it everywhere on the news. We've been told since we were little kids, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And so we wash our hands. And I specifically remember seeing colleagues at work washing their hands all the way to their elbows. And I remember thinking, why are they doing that? They're not a medical doctor, right? They're not going to go into the surgery room. But in reality, they were way ahead of me because they were washing out all the germs. Now, one thing that we have to always reinforce to our kids and to our students and to ourselves is that we need to make sure that we are using soap and water, because what happens sometimes, there's no soap, right? We go wash our hands. Oh, there's no soap. Oh, okay. And then we just get the water and we wash our hands. But in reality, there is no soap. So it's not, it's kind of cleaning us, but it's not 100% cleaning us as far as killing whatever germs and bacteria we may have. Also, I'm really big on saving water. So I tell the kids, don't let the water run while if your hands are not under the water. Make sure that you lather and rinse really well. One thing that we also discussed is how important it is to wash our hands completely, not just this way, but also inside in the middle of our fingers, right? Because people also forget their thumbs, right? Everything, it has to be washed. One thing that we struggle with, at least with little children, is for how long, because we'll ask them to wash their hands, and by the time you blink, they're already back. They're like, I already washed my hands. I already washed my hands. And you're like, what do you mean? You just left right now 2 seconds ago. So we have to wash our hands for at least 20 seconds. Now, for little children, that might be like, what is 20 seconds? I don't have a timer. I don't have a clock. How do I know? And so it's just a matter of figuring out fun little ways to get kids to count to 20 or to sing a song, right? But even if we count to 20, it's still not 20 seconds, because at 20 seconds, it would be 1,000, 2, 1,000. So an activity that I came up with is try saying the ABCs, singing them, saying them, reciting them. And so it's like, okay, here we go. I'm going to wash my hands. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You get the point, right? And twice. Now, some kids might say, I don't want to do that. Well, are you kidding me? I'm not 5 years old. Okay, whatever. Sing a song or hum a song. Just make sure that it's 20 seconds, right? So that we know for sure our hands are great. They are clean. They do not have any type of germs. Okay. Another thing that I share with students is make sure that you are using the hand sanitizer whenever possible. And usually classrooms and schools have them all over the place. Some are real fancy. You just put your hand under it and it pops out the liquid, and some you have to push on the little lever. And so again, the same thing. It's not just I put some on and let's go. No, you have to rub it again, just like if you were washing your hands all over, so that it settles and that your hands can be disinfected. That is very important, especially because in the classroom, we grab a pencil, we grab a pen, we are touching the computer, and we know that a lot of these viruses, right, do live on the outside for a while on surfaces, depending on the surface, and they might live a couple of days or a couple of hours, and so we need to make sure that if we did touch something, that we're able to disinfect it away from our bodies. That's very, very important. From here, I go on to number 2, and number 2 is wear a mask. And for the longest time before, I took this course, I used to think, oh, okay, wear a mask, right? And I would wear my mask like this. Okay, and I learned, no, your mask has to cover your nose. It has to cover your mouth. What? My nose and my mouth? Yes, it has to cover. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Wearing a mask protects us from the germs that go into our nose or into our mouth. Well, how does that happen? Well, think about it. COVID-19 is airborne, right? And so if somebody sneezes over here, guess what? The little particles are coming. They're coming to me. Oh, and if I'm not wearing a mask, I'm going to breathe them in, right? Or I'm going to stick them in my mouth without knowing. That's why we need to cover. And so this is important to tell our kids, boys and girls, number 2, your face mask is not properly on. So if you have a mask and it's like this, it's like to me, it's like you don't even have it, because you're going to breathe it in, right? Or you're going to sneeze and then somebody else is going to get it. Now, what is social distancing? And this is something that we also struggle with our students, because this is hard for them. They're social beings. We want to be around people. We want to be around our friends. We want to be laughing, and so what is social distancing? So this is a safe space between yourself and others. Okay. And actually now, if you go anywhere, the other day I went to the post office and I was in line with my box, and somebody looked at me and they gave me this look, and I was like, why are they staring at me? And then I realized I was not social distancing. I was like too close. When I looked at the floor, I noticed that there were stickers. One person's here, the next person over there. So then I moved myself back. And so maybe in your school you have that. Maybe you have that plan where you have X's or cartoons or stickers showing the kids this is what social distancing looks like, because sometimes we need to be reminded. We forget, and we might be too close, and somebody might have to remind us. So what does that look like for us, right? And so with that comes up the staying 6 feet apart. And again, people will tell me again, okay, 6 feet apart, ma'am. I don't have a ruler with me everywhere I go. I don't have measuring tape. How am I going to know? Okay, well, there's different ways we can figure it out. And this is what I tell my kids. You can extend your arms like this. So maybe this is 3 feet on this side, and maybe this 3 feet on this, depending how long my arms are. And this is how far away I am from somebody. Or if you're acting like you're going to walk, right? If you walk, you can say, oh, I'm going to take 6 steps. Is that going to be 6 feet, depending how long and big my feet are? So it's kind of like helping kids recognize that you're going to have to step away from each other. You cannot be close. And just to be safe, extend your arms. That's good enough. Why is that? Because again, if I sneeze, if I cough, it's going to get you if you're right next to me. But if we have that safe space around us, then that's kind of like a shield that is protecting us. So from here we go to the one that is actually one of my favorites, because I didn't even know about this one. So we have to keep our eyes and our nose and our mouth safe from germs. Now, I have been telling you this whole time that we have to cover our nose and we have to cover our mouth, right? This virus can also come in through our eyes, right? Because we don't have, it's not like the skin, right? It could go in. And so for that situation, you have, some people might wear the PPE, which is the cover, right? If we do not have the cover, well, then what we need to do is we need to really make sure we're 6 feet away from people. We need to make sure, number one, that if we're touching our eyes, that our hands have to be completely washed and disinfected and no germs. Because if I touch my eye like this and I have germs, they're going to go into my body through my eyes, right? The same thing through the nose and the same thing through the mouth. So even if I'm at my house and there's nobody here, but maybe I just came in from work and, I was touching things, and then I'm, touching my nose or getting something out of my mouth. Wow, if I have not washed my hands and kept them disinfected, I could really get sick, right? And this is really in general for everything, but especially right now with COVID. So if you see a lot of people now that have those clear masks, the PPE, and that's actually for the same purpose, to keep everything off the eyes. Now for me, I wear glasses all the time. I need my glasses to see, so that's my protective gear right here. And then of course my mask, right? Okay, very good. Again, make sure that you do not touch your hands, touch your face, your eyes, your nose with unwashed hands that are not disinfected, because that could make us very, very sick. So I always remind my kids, make sure that your eyes are good, that your nose is good, and that your mouth is good, that they are safe. Okay, that there is nobody around you coughing and sneezing and you haven't covered it up. And so even for little kids, I might say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go back to 5, right? Because have one eye, 2 eyes, one nostril, 3, another nostril, 4, and then my mouth is 5. Keep them safe. Especially with little ones, they like to put stuff in their mouth and their pencils and all that. It's a big deal. We need to be super careful. And then the last one, which is actually my favorite, because it's not really a rule, but it's share your knowledge with a friend, because not a lot of people know. See, for the longest time, I didn't even know that I had to cover my nose. I know I read about it when I took my class. And it was a big shocker to me. Wow. And then my eyes, I didn't even know that eyes could also be a way that I could get sick, right? And sharing it with my friends, and they were like, I had no idea. So I have to cover my nose too when I wear my mask. Yes, that's safety, right? And what about if somebody's too close to me, how do I tell them? I don't want to be rude. Then you just say nicely, oh, we have to follow social distancing, that's 6 feet apart. And people will be nice about it. Just what happens is that people sometimes forget. That is the honest truth. I'll be somewhere and people forget. They just forget. They're like, oh my God, I forgot, everything that's going on. So sometimes we need to remind them, and we need to help them, and we need to be in an environment where we're very all proactive and helping each other out. So as we're getting ready to end, I told you it was going to be fast. You know that the last step is easy. The last step is sharing with your friends. Okay, advocating. Okay, being team players, finding solutions. Okay, you know what? I'm seeing that there's a lot of kids here. Maybe I need to create a way to show them that they have to social distance. Maybe with some of that tape, that painter's tape, I guess, or a line or something to show my kids that they have to separate themselves, or to show my family members or my friends. Because sometimes, remember I told you, when I was at the post office, I didn't even realize until people started giving me dirty looks. And then I looked down and I was like, whoa, I'm not even on a spot that I should be on. So I was way off. These are ways to also help and come up with ideas of how we can be safe. But the best way is also by telling everybody and helping others understand, and what are ways that we can combat this COVID, right? So number one, again, we're just going to cap everything. So wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. For some of us, if we're always in a rush, I know for me, I might have to sing a little song. I might even say a little prayer. Something, Pledge of Allegiance, whatever, that I know it's going to be 20 seconds where I can walk away feeling okay, scratching my nose and scratching my eyes, and be okay and be safe and feel that I am safe, and I'm at the same time keeping others safe as well. Number two, of course, wear your mask at all times. Many of us, I know it's happened to us. It's happened to me. I get off, I start walking. I'm about to walk into the building, and then there's a sign, wear a mask or you cannot enter. And I'm like, I forgot my mask, right? And so I have to go back. There are some locations that people forget their mask. And I did see this one man at this building. He said, I forgot my mask, but I'm going to do this. And they said, no, sir, you need to get out. You need to wear a mask. So I did tell students, if you do not have a mask, if you lost your mask, if your mask tore, make sure you let somebody know. And I'm sure that you will be supported, as well as us as adults. There's always somebody with an extra clean mask. Make sure you wear it, and that you wear it properly, that you cover your mouth and you cover your nose for sure. And then number three, 6 feet apart. And again, I'm big in believing that for little kids, we just need to show them what that looks like. Because yes, we'll tell them extend your arms or count to the so many steps. But we're very visual, especially. I'm a visual person too, like I said, when I was at the post office. So if we can do that and show the kids, okay, this is what it looks like. As long as you're one of those little boxes, you're good to go. You are 6 feet apart. And that's something that even us as adults, we have to remember for ourselves. Number 4, and that's the big one for me that I shared with you that I had no idea. It was so many different ways that we could become affected. And so that is, one of them is through our eyes, right? Through our eyes, through our nose, through our mouth. So we have to keep those areas safe. And again, I count them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Covering my nose, covering my mouth. If I have glasses, I'm good. If I don't have glasses and I don't have PPE, then I really, really need to make sure that I am 6 feet away from people in case somebody sneezes or coughs. Or, if the virus is airborne, somebody walked in and they left it and they're flying, of course, just like dust or anything that touches our eyes. We have to be careful and make sure that we don't touch our eyes, our mouth, and our nose with our hands. And many people, what they've done is they haven't. They'll say, "Wow, I had no idea that I would touch my face so many times until I had to wear this whole PPE that I had to remove it to scratch my face." Because we do it so often, so subconsciously, right, that we don't even recognize. But now we have to be more aware so that we can be safer, right, and take these precautions. And then last one, which, you know, it speaks for itself, is share your knowledge with a friend. Share people and say, did you know that we don't just have to take care of our nose and our mouth, that we actually have to be careful with our eyes, that we do not get germs or anything into our eyes. And then, of course, being kind and compassionate to others. Sometimes people that are not wearing masks or that are not adhering by the 6 feet, it's because they don't know, right? Or maybe because we all go through that, somebody needs to help us and guide us and say, hey, you know, here's a mask if you want it. Or, you know, did you know that social distancing means 6 feet apart? And it means that for a reason, so that we can stay safe. So this is the video. I promised you it was going to be short and sweet. I hope you guys stay safe. If you ever want to reach out, please reach out to me, Dr. E.T. and Company. You have a friend in me always. And thank you for doing the hard work that you do. Students, don't give up. This is almost over. And teachers, you guys are the best and a shining light. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.